when you're handling a high profile case or a complex case, then such sensitive information also gets out in the media quite quickly.
Recently, Supreme Court of India has passed some orders where they had directed that at least on certain issues, media should refrain from publishing. Publication or this telecast would prejudice to the accused persons or prejudice to the parties in the litigation.
Being the Vice President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, what are some of the challenges that you're facing today in the legal profession? Welcome back to yet another interesting episode of The Executive Edge, brought to you by KR Mangalam University, where we bring to you insightful conversations with some of the top minds across the industries. In today's episode, we are honored to be joined by Dr. Pradeep Rai, who is a senior advocate at the Supreme Court of India and the Vice President of Supreme Court Bar Association. With decades of experience in the legal profession, he has played a pivotal role in shaping legal policies and practices. Without wasting any more time, let's welcome Dr. Pradeep Rai. Hello, Dr. Pradeep
Hello,
Rai.
hi, how are you?
How are you doing today?
Good. Please,
Thank you
yes,
so
thank you,
much.
thank you for coming and thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Rai. We will not take much of your time as I know you've been running pretty busy on your schedule, but it's an honor to have you on our podcast. The viewers, first of all, would like to know how your experience has been in the legal profession, but I personally would like to know how you decided to become a legal professional, as well as how this experience has shaped your perspective towards the Indian society.
You see, first of all, we all have to know that any society which is civilized, that can be said civilized only if they have a set of laws, rules to govern themselves. So, man is a social animal, that is the interesting fact. Man moves in the society, but at the same time, everybody is free, but they are free up to the extent they are not interfering in the freedom of others.
Right.
So, by that means we started, I thought that from my formative years, I started having a perspective of law, but I never thought that I will be a lawyer. I thought I will be a civil servant. I tried for that. I succeeded. Then I thought I should go for the teaching. I tried again and I succeeded. And ultimately then I realized that even all these professional areas are good, but at the same time, if you pursue this legal profession, it will be really a great achievement, not only for me, but for the downtrodden, for the society. And that's how I started pursuing law. And after becoming a lawyer, initially few years were again shaky. I thought that I may not succeed in this profession because of being the first generation lawyer. And the kind of respect this profession had those days in the eyes of public in general, because they used to think that if somebody is studying law, it means they are worthless, they don't have any other opportunity, and that's why they are pursuing law. So gradually I studied law and I succeeded in the courts, and ultimately what I am before you all.
All right. So, being the Vice President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, what are some of the challenges that you're facing today in the legal profession?
You see,
What do you see?
I have been a three-time office bearers of the Supreme Court Bar Association. I was Bar Association Vice President, and I am currently Vice President of ISIL, Indian Society of International Law. And last time I lost president election. This time again I am contesting
All right.
for the post of
All the
president,
best for that.
president SCBA. So you see, whenever normally when you think about the lawyers, I will share an incident and a event with you that there was a time when we wanted some housing projects for the lawyers. So I visited then Chief Minister of a state and I requested, sir, lawyers have too many problems and they don't have houses. They need to have some house where they can have their office and stay together with the family. So the response from the Chief Minister was that lawyers themselves are a problem. What problem they may have? So that was the impression, that was the perspective. Gradually they started realizing that many young lawyers, like the young generation, when they came and when they joined the profession, I found that the respect of the profession has gone up. And gradually today we see that so many families, so many students from really the good ranks and good colleges, they are coming to the profession and they are doing well. I really am surprised to see that many young lawyers of practice of 7 years, 8 years, they are making good money, they are doing good service to society. At the same time, they are doing pro bono work. So that is the, I see the future of the younger generation is so bright, especially in this profession. So in my time, when we were young, we never had this kind of impression that at one point of time, being a lawyer can also pay you and you can practice in Supreme Court, you can have a office or somebody working for you. Those days, it was really challenging. But today, it's a very wonderful profession. Many of the young generations, they are coming and they are doing so well. So it's really inspiring to see them also. And I feel that the next generation, the coming generation, is doing so well that our future of our nation, future of our constitution, and the same time, the future of our civilized society is in safe hands.
The technology has been rapidly changing the course of so many different industries. How is it affecting the legal profession? I mean, the way how the whole system in the courts used to work, how is it any different from what it was 20, 30 years ago?
You see, 20, 30 years back when used to come, we all have to research. You see the libraries and we all the lawyers, we have to spend a lot of amount in the library only. Other than this, you have to present on time. There was no cell phone those days.
Right.
So even pager come later and then thereafter the cell phones came into existence. The current generation cannot even imagine that what is the life without cell phone and pager. Because once a person has started from one place, he can get the message of not reaching the place only once he reaches there. So that kind of society was there. As far law is concerned, we all youngsters used to take out the books, research on the similar matter, what are the subject, how it is applicable. Then you find that it has been ruled out, it has been superseded by some other judgment or some other law. So it was not a very easy time. So later, when this all the technology has come, now youngsters don't need to maintain such big libraries. They are on Manupatra, SCC, some other artificial intelligence softwares are there. You can just type, Google it, and you will get the search result exactly on the point on which you are searching. So that job is much easier. Other than this, the moment a judgment is passed in a high court, a lawyer in Supreme Court, they can see that what kind of orders are being passed. Even the assessment by the judges is easier to see the how lower judiciary is functioning. So that is the one part. At the same time, young students who are still studying in the college, earlier they were never had to an opportunity to go to observe the court, but now they can observe online and it's recorded. Constitutional bench matters are available on all these YouTube and other websites. Not only Indian courts, but you have the access of almost laws of entire world and the growth of mankind and so many other information which may be relevant. And when you are coming for the research, you can find so many other relevant materials which can be very useful. So I think that this kind of modern growth and this kind of artificial softwares and intelligent softwares, research thing like ChatGPT, some China has produced something, and all these assistants, you find that sometime after some few years, you will find that they are playing such a important role. Other than writing the final operative para of the judgment, most of the synopsis, recording of the arguments of both sides, then the reasoning and everything may be automatically, the moment hearing is complete, it may be available. And thereafter, you have to decide that which side you have to go and you can pass the appropriate order. So that is a great help, especially which was not available few years back. The number of judges has gone up, number of cases has gone up, pendency is too much, but by help of these artificial intelligence softwares and programs, I think that it will be good for the society.
You said that the technology obviously has its advantages, but I'm sure when you're handling a high profile case or a complex case, then such sensitive information also gets out in the media quite quickly. How do you think that we can stop that from happening? Because it kind of saves a lot of authenticity to the certain case.
You see, the moment you file a petition, then obviously you are subject to the scrutiny.
Right.
And there are so many media channels, other side lawyers, some other parties, relevant parties, they may circulate it. In UK, we have found that in many cases where especially the children and ladies are involved, they pass an order that matter has to be XYZ and there should not be any publication. We do not see such orders, especially in Indian law and Indian constitutional courts, but it has to be done. It has to be there because you see, many occasions when you file a petition, even suppose family matters, you don't want this to be publicized and bring to the public. Child custody matters. Other than that, even if you are a criminal, suppose hypothetically you have been charged with the murder, and you don't want each and every statement, every pleadings to be covered by the media because it may prejudice. Sometimes you interview one person, then interview other person, the public opinion is formed, and judges are also not someone who are out of the society. They also read newspapers. They are sometimes they also get affected, and even if judges are not affected, you will find that many of your persons of society with whom you interact on daily basis, they are prejudiced. So there has to be some system. And India is growing gradually. Recently, Supreme Court of India has passed some orders where they had directed that at least on certain issues, media should refrain from publishing. In one matter in which I was appearing, I found that court passed an order that none of the parties will be publishing these reports, whatever the dispute is. So that kind of reports can be, orders can be passed, and which will be for the larger help of the outcome of the pleadings of the matter of the judicial and it will help judicial independence. Recently, one honorable Supreme Court judge said that because of these live telecasts of the matters of the Supreme Court, there are so many issues coming up, especially in the cases of honorable judges and the lawyers who, when they cross question, when they ask something, it is coming out to the open. And sometimes judges ask irrelevant questions only for the purpose of digging out the truth. The question is not only for the purpose that is relevant for the hearing. They ask something and then the next question may be important. So it happens sometimes. But despite all this, I will tell that it is good for the transparency and these hearings should be continued to be aired. Other than this, the media should also refrain on certain issues, especially where you find that this publication or this telecast would prejudice to the accused persons or prejudice to the parties in the litigation.
Right. But Dr. Rai, do you think media, the pressure from the media can actually impair the judgment sometimes?
You see, there was a research in the UK, and the research topic was whether gender matters when you decide a case. And that is the outcome of that research was that ladies were given the cases where ladies were harassed, and the same cases were given to the males. And what judgment came? The majority of the judges, they were right. They were completely for the justice. But there were 30 to 40% judges, they were affected by the gender. So when you are by reading the newspaper, you are forming an opinion, and even if you are not forming an, I don't say that judges may be influenced by this only. This is not the only factor because most of the time we argue that judges should not go by the media reports, and judges don't go. We don't believe in media reports, especially when a criminal trial is going on. But only to prejudice someone. Like you are interacting with the society, you are going somewhere, coming, and then even the politicians. Ultimately, remedy is what? President of India in many cases. So you may get prejudice, your rights may be affected, and it happens. Because ultimately, even if you are charged with someone and you have been discharged, there is no offense, there is nothing against you, but still people will say that so and so was charged in so and so offenses. They will say this, unless you are a very strong person and you can face the situation. So this is the general opinion, and the implications and the impact is also general. And it may, people are not, public is in general is not so intelligent, they are not so expert of the subject that they may analyze and say that no, there was nothing, trial went on and finally he succeeded, he was exonerated, and you get the same respect. It's not very easy because you face the trial for 4 years, so it will remain in your Wikipedia page, it will remain in your profile that you faced the trial and ultimately you were discharged. So that discharge doesn't mean anything once there are some certain charges labeled against you and after 4 or 5 years you were discharged. So that is the situation.
Right. Dr. Rai, one more question. Has there been any a case, you don't have to disclose it obviously, where you got affected emotionally the most and really gave a thought about how this Indian society has become or what the present scenario is in this country?
You see, one very famous case you must have heard, that the cases of dead men.
Right.
I used to appear for the dead men's because they were alive. They were declared dead by the families. They were in order to grab their land, and they had approached me from the eastern UP, and I was appearing for them. Their own family members who declared them dead, and they are doing everything possible to declare themselves alive. The officers say, show me certificate, show me this. They can't show anything because the person of whom they have the certificates in possession, they were dead as in law. So ultimately what they did, they committed some offences, few of them, and when they committed some offences, the FIR was lodged against them. And by that their original name came out, and that's how they became alive.
Oh my
So
God.
now the situation has changed. I believe that in most of the UP and Bihar, this situation is not there. Rarely we hear such cases, but it was really very moving and touching that in order to grab the land, they declare you dead, and law, as per law, 7 to 8,000 persons. Ultimately, they formed an association, dead men associations. They were office bearers of that association. So that was the case which was relevant, and few political cases which I handled, I found that also, because vendetta part was there, which really affected me. I thought that such politicians who could have contributed much more with their positive mindset and their performance, they were affected by such cases. And sometimes the other government which was so good, doing so well, they framed the other politician with the purpose that he should not take a lead. So all these things happened. Other than vendetta, this was the case which really moved me, and I thought that where our society has gone, because earlier we had the theory of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. From Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam was one part, you are not taking care of your own Kutumbakam. So that was the really a very emotional moment for me when I started interacting with them. The father, the son, the nephews, other relatives, they are crying to be declared alive. So it's really not a very easy thing to see such a situation, especially in the society where we have seen that we all used to treat everyone as a family.
Right. That must be very hard for you
Yes,
as an individual also and as a part of the country, as a
absolutely,
citizen
absolutely.
also. Dr. Rai, there are a lot of youngsters now who want to take up legal profession very seriously, and now with obviously help of technology, social media, everybody is more aware of how they can make a successful career in it. According to you, what sort of critical skills or attributes would you see in the future lawyers to have a really succeeding careers in this legal profession?
You see, first of all, you have to recognize that what is your area. In law also you have all the fields. Like if you are interested in environment, you go for NGT matters. If you are interested in consumer matters, go for NCDRC. Even if you are interested in some telecom and other disputes cases, airport authority cases, you go to TV set. Sometimes anti-competition cases, competition commission is there. Sometimes you find the debt recovery, banks cases, DRT is there. Company matter, bankruptcy code matters, NCLT is there. So you have to identify. Other than mainstream civil and criminal litigation, you have to identify any other area in which you want to practice, which you like it. And when you select one area, then you have to start working. Some of them, they want to become a judge, so they have to read everything. But other than that, if you want to practice, especially in a specific area, then you start reading the judgments, the regular proceedings. And I request only one thing to all the students, that devote 2 hours. I never say that you should sacrifice your college life, enjoy your college life, because having a college life is also a great thing. You can enjoy your college life, you roam around, you meet your friends, attend your classes, but give 2 hours to your study, only 2 hours, and 1 hour to sports, any sports which you like. If you are doing these two things regularly and pursuing your passion, you take it from me, nobody can stop you. You are bound to achieve success. And I have seen many young students, they are doing so well that many top senior lawyers will be jealous of their success.
Right. One last question, Dr. Rai, before we wrap up. Legal profession can be very mentally stressful because of the amount of studies you go through and then the amount of cases you have to be part of on a day-to-day basis. How do you keep your physical and mental health intact?
You see, first of all, I am fond of reading. So I read something or other every day. Before going to the bed, I certainly read something, or I try to participate in some sports competition. Sometimes I go for badminton, sometimes for tennis or cricket. Any sports, if somebody is playing, have the information, I will go and participate. So physical fitness is there. My only problem is sweets.
Okay.
I am
You have a
fond
major
of
sweet
sweets.
tooth.
Yes, so I eat a lot. Whenever there is a special sweets, somebody bring from Calcutta, someone bring from Karnataka, someone sends from Jharkhand, Bihar. So whatever they bring, I try to consume it, and that's why my family is very cautious that whenever the sweet packet is brought, other than one piece, I am not allowed to take it. They will just take it out and distribute it or give it to someone. So that is the one thing. Other than that, lawyer's life is really good. I don't see any stress in that life now. Earlier it was there, especially criminal lawyers, they feel this kind of stress because you have to go for bail, your clients are crying, sometimes you see the lady and family members are coming to you. Other than that, most of the matters is a very healthy kind of environment. It's not no more the old practice where you are involved and you are single-handedly you are working. Here we have a good team. There are so many young lawyers who are helping us. So I don't think there is any problem in that stage. And clients also know. There is a judge who said once that when there is a trial going on, the defendant and the prosecution, both of them know the truth. It is the judge who is on the trial.
Right.
So indirectly or directly, you know that judges know what is happening. Both the side lawyers, they know. Client also knows what may be the possible outcome, and the stress is not the same which used to be there earlier.
Right. Dr. Rai, it was insightful. It was very important to have such a discussion with you because I think our viewers would really like to know more about the legal profession now, more about the world of law, and not just about the world of law, but all the attributes related to it, whether it is the technology part, the profession part, or your advice for the youngsters. Thank you so much for being part of this
Thank you,
podcast.
Sarmila ji. Thank you.
We will make sure that we take one more episode so that we can have even more detailed conversations on all those cases that you have fought and all of your experiences.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sarmila
so
ji.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this insightful conversation with Dr. Pradeep Rai. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and stay connected with us for further updates. Until then, take care and stay inspired.